Good morning, students. Welcome back to my 23rd lectures of your subject CPC 505 Module 5, that is the wastewater treatment. Last in 22nd lecture, we are discussing in last class, we are discussing the trickling filter, that is the attached group process biological reactor. Now today I will discuss although we have given the indication of the introduction part of the activated sludge process, that is the suspended growth process in my 21st lecture, if you remember. So today I will deliberate the activated sludge process in details, that is the derivation of various kinetics models, equations we will be using, and the numericals will be discussed on the activated sludge process. Now, first of all, uh, first I will describe that is the first I will describe the schematic diagram of the completely mixed reactor system. So what is completely mixed reactor? Is you see the schematic diagram, it is shown as the aeration tank. That is the aeration tank is shown, and when I am talking for the completely mixed, that means some impeller, it is shown in the figure, it is impeller. Now V is the volume of the reactor, S that is the substrate concentration, and X is the biomass concentration. Now what is substrate concentration and what is biomass concentration? Substrate means the food, the organic matter, that is the carbonaceous organic matter which we call the BOD, containing in the water, which is food to the organism, that is called the substrate. So S is very clear to you what is substrate. So whenever any wastewater comes into the treatment in the aeration tank, that contains the substrate, because substrate is the organic matter, that is the pollutant which we have to remove, which the bacteria, that is the microorganism, will will degrade. That is it will organize the organic matter in presence of oxygen, as it is a aerated tank, aeration tank, and the mixing is the completely mixing nature, as you have seen from the impeller shown in the figure. Now you see the schematic diagram where it indicates the aeration tank is there, and the SST, that is the secondary sedimentation tank. I can say it is a secondary clarifier, because whatever the biomass with the water effluent comes into the comes out from the tank, that is settled, that is allowed to settle in the secondary clarifier, and the activated sludge portion is recirculated back to the tank. So that's why it is named as activated sludge process, because you are recirculating the activated sludge portion, and the sludge portion which is not activated, that is the excess sludge portion, or which is wasted, that is wasted out, and it is shown in the downward arrow. So this fundamental schematic diagram has to be clear in mind. From primary clarifier, the wastewater comes into the reactor, that is the aeration tank. So this calls as wastewater influent. So our schematic diagram starts from the wastewater influent, that is the left arrow towards left. It is shown into the tank, and the flow is Q naught, that is the initial flow is Q naught. S naught is the substrate concentration, that is the BOD concentration, rather I would say the organic matter concentration, and X0 is the biomass concentration. And when the flow comes from the aeration tank, there the Q0 comes in, comes out, that is fine. But another recirculated flow we are observing here, that is the Q suffix R, which is coming into the aeration tank. So that is also that will also come out from the system, that is the aeration tank. So from the primary tank Q0 is coming, and from the sludge recirculation QR is coming. So what is the total flow is coming into the aeration tank? Total flow is coming is Q0 plus QR, and so the coming in should be coming out, because the mass balance should be there. So the Q0, when the flow comes out from the aeration tank, it should be Q0 plus QR, and there the substrate concentration is X. S, it is considered as uniform throughout the system in the reactor as well as when it leaves from the system. And the X is the biomass concentration also when it is in reactor, and when it leaves the system, the concentration of biomass is maintaining uniform. Now I am discussing when it is coming into the secondary clarifier. In the secondary clarifier, finally the effluent, clear effluent will come. That means Q0 plus QR QR portion will be recirculated back, so QR cancelled. So Q0 comes in and QW wasted out. So what will be the effluent? Effluent will be Q0 minus QW, and corresponding to that Q0 minus QW flow of effluent, what will be the corresponding substrate concentration? That is also S, but the biomass concentration is Xc. That is the biomass concentration of effluent, that is X suffix E, and the biomass concentration of the flow QW, which is sludge wasted, their concentration is XR. R suffix indicates that is the recirculation biomass concentration. So this portion, that return sludge portion systems which is shown is the dotted, that is you can show rectangle shown is dotted, that is the integrated system of the aeration tank along with the secondary clarifier. This whole system is a biological treatment secondary process, because secondary clarifier is a part and parcel of the aeration tank in the activated process, which will allow to settle the biomass, and the clear effluent will come from the secondary treatment. So the basic mass balance concept I am just giving you from this schematic diagram. I will go you in more and more detail for development of the kinetic equations. So in this kinetic model, which have been proposed to describe the activated sludge process, this is the fundamental thing, the steady state condition. That means steady state condition, I will give you in detail. That means the whatever the biomass or substrate concentration comes in, and biomass concentration, biomass growth is there, which will be added to the inflow, that minus the outflow biomass concentration, outflow of the biomass, that is called the accumulation of the biomass, and that accumulation must be zero. That is the basic concept of the steady state flow. So completely mixed reactor with sludge recycle is considered in this schematic diagram, which includes the nomenclature used in the following mass balance equation. Again, I am showing you the Q0, S0, X0, the inflow parameter, that is the Q is the flow, initial flow, S is the substrate concentration, initial substrate concentration, and X0 is the initial biomass concentration. But in analytical purpose, that is that initial biomass concentration, that is X0, will be considered as nil, that is zero. That we will describe later on. Now this mass balance equation will be used to develop the kinetic models based on what are the assumptions. First, let us consider the assumptions in mass balance equations. Will be used to develop the kinetic models. Considering these assumptions, I must tell you that is the biomass concentration in the influent is negligible. As immediately I have told you that X0, which is the biomass concentration, you can consider as zero, because it is assumed as zero in the influent, as it is negligible. Now completely mixing in the aeration tank is happening, that's why the uniform concentration X can be found out, that constant that impeller is found out. So it is showing the impeller means is a example of the completely mixed reactor. Fine. The substrate concentration in the influent wastewater remains constant. What do you mean this? The substrate concentration in the influent wastewater remains constant. You see the S in the tank, then when it leaves, again it is X, then when it leaves from the secondary clarifier as a effluent, again it is S. So substrate concentration throughout the system is considered as the uniform. That is the another third assumption. Okay, remains constant. Waste stabilization occurs only in the aeration tank. That what does it mean? The technical means that whatever the oxidation takes place, whatever the biodegradation process takes place of the organic matter, that is happening in this reactor, that is the aeration tank itself. Stabilization only occurring in the aeration tank itself. No growth of biomass, rather no utilization of the substrate will be observed in the secondary clarifier. Again, I am telling, the growth of the biomass as well as the utilization of the substrate will be observed in the aeration tank in the reactor process, but no growth of the biomass, no utilization of the substrate will be observed in the secondary clarifier. That will be primary focus. You have to keep in mind. So stabilization, waste stabilization occurs only in the aeration tank, and all reaction takes place in the aeration basin. So what for the settling tank? Settling tank only for settlement of the sludge. Fine. So that's why, since there is no reaction, so same concentration will pass to the secondary tank, the secondary clarifier. Now there is a microbial degradation and organic matter and no biomass growth in the secondary clarifier, as I have repeatedly told you. Steady state condition prevail throughout the system. In details, we will discuss what is the significance of the steady state, because that is the fundamental thing for which the equation has to be developed, considering the steady state only. The volume used for the calculation means the residence time, that volume of the aeration tank will calculate. Now it is very simple, that biomass balance. What is biomass balance? Now net rate of change in the biomass inside the system, inside the boundary, equal to rate of biomass enters and rate at which biomass leaves. So if we take the difference, it will give the net rate change of biomass inside. What comes in and rate, and what rate at which it leaves. So balancing is the rate of biomass inside the, it is very simple process. So the algebraic, it is simply the algebraic equation. So the above biomass statement can be written, can be simplified into just a minute. Above biomass that I can say in other words, that is the accumulation equal to inflow of mass plus net growth, inflow, whatever the inflow coming in the reactor, growth of the biomass itself itself happening in the reactor, so that is additive, minus outflow of the biomass which is going out, so that is the net figure is accumulation. Now in the consideration of the very important point, I am going to highlight to you that the in case of the steady state, that accumulation part will be 0. That means whatever the inflow plus net growth, that should be the outflow. That is the basic fundamental thing. So there is no accumulation part. So accumulation will have to be the 0. Okay, fine. Now it is assumed that steady state condition prevails, so accumulation of the biomass in the system will be 0. So which can be written in another form, that effluent biomass plus biomass production, influent biomass plus biomass production equal to effluent biomass plus wasted biomass, because what comes in, that goes out. No accumulation business is there. So influent biomass means the flow inflow, as I have indicated you in the figure Q0, the initial flow which comes in from the primary tank to the secondary tank, aeration tank, in the aeration tank, that is Q0, and initial biomass concentration is X0. So what is the total biomass? The Q0 plus X0, that is the influent biomass. Fine. Now what is the biomass production? If dxdt is the production rate, V is the volume of the area aeration basin, then V into dxdt is the biomass production. This is the production plus inflow. That should be the effluent biomass plus wasted biomass. So what is the effluent biomass? Q0 minus QW is the effluent flow, and that concentration, effluent concentration, is Xc. So total effluent biomass is Q0 minus QW into Xc, plus wasted biomass is QW into XR, where Q0 is the influent flow rate, X0 is the influent biomass concentration, P is the volume of the aeration basin, QW is the flow rate of waste sludge, Xc is the effluent biomass concentration, XR is the biomass concentration in the return sludge. So this terminology, you should be acquainted with this terminology, because these are the symbols and these are the parameters which will be presented by this symbol only. So you have to keep in mind for particular these abbreviations, what are the symbolic representation of these kinetic parameters. It is assumed that the biomass concentration in the influent wastewater and the effluent from the clarifier is negligible. That means X0 and Xc equal to 0. Because when it is treated water, Xc means when it is treated water after treatment, it is not expected that there is biomass in the effluent water. So Xc can be equal to 0. And the biomass is present in the reactor. So from the preliminary, when water comes from the primary sedimentation tank, it is expected that there is no the water containing no biomass. So initial X0 and Xc should be considered as 0 in our assumption. So the equation will be coming as, if we put in the expression if we see the 11 number expression, if we put x0 equal to 0 and x equal to 0, that 11 number expression, that is 11 number equation, will be simplified into 12 number equation as v dx dt equal to qwxr, because this equation now has been shortened because of putting the value of 0 of x0 and xr, xe. Fine. So what will get? Now v dx dt equal to qwxr. This is a very important relation. Now dx dt, v dx dt, as I have told you, a very significant term I have used, that v dx dt. Dx dt means rate of change of biomass. Now monod kinetics I am using, that is qms by ks plus s into x minus kd into x. So this is nothing but the dx dt. When I am converting the monod kinetics, that dx dt I am written in this form qms. What is the rate of growth of Qm is S is the substrate concentration, Ks is half velocity constant, X is the concentration of biomass. So that I am substituting this monod equation in the equation 12 and got the equation 13 in terms of V equal to Qms by Ks, which can be further converted into equation 4, like qms by ks plus s equal to qwxr by vx plus kd. Fine. If Rg is the net growth of organism, then from equation 13, Rg we can write qwxr by v. What is Rg? Rg is the net growth of organism. Net growth of organism means qw into xr by v. That is the net growth of organisms. So we can write qwxr by vx equal to rg by x. Now rg we can write minus y rsu minus kd into x. Y is the yield coefficient, kd is the decay coefficient, biomass decay coefficient, and what I am trying to say, rsu is the substrate utilization rate. RSU is the substrate utilization rate, that is the mass per unit volume time, and the equation has come qwxr by vx equal to minus y rsu by x minus kd, and the left hand is nothing but the 1 by theta c, because we know earlier lecture that theta c, that is the mean cell residence time, vis-a-vis you can say the solid residence time, is nothing but the vx by qwxr. That means what the period in which the sludge retains, it can retain the sludge. So Vx divided by qwxr, that means the total sludge, total biomass divided by the wasted sludge, that is the qwxr. You get the sludge retention time. So here it is inverse of theta c, so 1 by theta c, the left hand side, and converting the equation will get the equation, that is RSU, that is the substrate utilization rate, equal to minus q s0 minus s by v equal to s0 minus s by theta, which is a very fundamental equation, because v by q is theta, we know, that is the detention time, that is the hydraulic detention time, volume divided by flow, that is the hydraulic detention that I know. So substituting this value of theta will get the RSU equal to S0 minus S by theta. Now theta is the hydraulic detention time, S0 is the influence substrate concentration, S is the effluent substrate concentration. Now from these equations we can find out 1 by theta c equal to y into S0 minus S by theta x minus kd, and solving x and substitute theta equal to v by q, this v equal to q theta c y s0 minus s by x into 1 plus kd theta c. That equation, kinetic equation, can be obtained. Fine. Now this equation, which I am showing as equation number 21, it is used for calculating the volume of the aeration tank. Then the kinetic coefficients are provided when the kinetic coefficients are known. Basically, the practical purpose I am telling you, what in practical experience these kinetic coefficients are determined in the lab, and knowing the kinetic coefficients, we can calculate the volume of the tank. That means you have to design the tank, which volume, what will be the volume, that volume can be determined once the aerosol tank kinetic coefficients are determined, and putting this value of the kinetic coefficient, you can find out the volume of the aerosol tank, which is required output of your design. What will the volume of the, what will the design of the tank? That means what will the volume of the secondary reactor. Now the substrate mass balance will follow the same concept of the biomass balance. See, the biomass and substrate are two parallelly phenomenon which will be observed. One thing will be utilized, another thing will be growth. One thing is decreasing because substrate is decreasing as it is utilized by the bacteria, so it is gradually decreasing, and the biomass will be increasing. That biomass growth will be increasing. So these are the simultaneous process. So mass balance, which you have shown in the biomass, that same principle in the steady state will follow in the substrate mass balance also. So a mass balance for the substrate in the completely mixed reactor using the control volume of the aeration basin and the clarifier can be written as follows. What will be the thing? Same thing what we have followed in the biomass balance case. That is the net rate of change in the substrate inside the system boundary equal to rate at which substrate enters into the system minus rate at which substrate leaves into the system. Here it is much more simplified because there is no wastage of substrate, there is no recycle of substrate like biomass. Only what comes in and what comes out. So rate at which substrate enters into the system minus rate at which the substrate leaves into the system, and then that will be the give the figure the net rate of change of the substrate inside the system boundary. Now for the steady state, the above mass balance equation can be simplified that the inflow of the substrate minus whatever the inflow minus substrate minus consumption of the substrate, some consumption has been taken place by the bacteria, equal to outflow of the substrate plus wasted substrate. Some portion is wasted also. Some substrate portion is wasted also with the wastewater. So outflow of the substrate plus wasted substrate, that will be equal to the inflow of the substrate plus consumption of substrate. So that means, what is the inflow of the substrate? The Q0 is the inflow of the volume of the water. We multiply with the S0, that is the initial concentration of the substrate. So that is the inflow of the substrate, total quantity of the substrate. Now consumption of substrate means minus V into ds dt. V is the volume of the tank equal to outflow of the substrate, that is Q0 minus QW. That portion is the outflow, that is effluent. Rather I would say Q0 minus QW. So that effluent is calling as outflow. So into S plus QW into S. Here the difference can be observed from the earlier one and the present mass balance of the substrate. What difference you can see? Here you see there the X or Xc different concentration was there in case of the effluent, in case of the recirculation, but here you see the same concentration of the substrate has been considered, that is S. That is the difference between the earlier one and this one. The substrate concentration once entered into the system will be throughout the same. Where S0 is substrate concentration in the effluent. So substituting this value Q0 S0 plus V into this, substituting equation we can get S equal to Ks into 1 plus Kd theta C by theta C into Yk minus Kd minus 1. So this equation we have obtained S equal to Ks into 1 plus Kd theta C by theta C Yk minus Kd minus 1, where K equal to Qm divided by Y, that is the maximum rate of substrate utilization per unit of mass of microorganism. Now this it seems to be theoretical to you unless and until you go for solution of some numericals. Once we solve the numericals, because these design aspects I am just delivering thing to you, and your syllabus is not so elaborate syllabus, but there are so many things, so many kinetics, so many, because biological reactor system basically based on some kinetics, and that kinetics are very complicated in nature. So we must discuss the numerical sums, utilization of these equations, utilization of these kinetic modules. Then only it will be very clear to you how it is being used. Otherwise, it seems that it will be theoretical to you. Now, let us look at the hydraulic retention time. So, hydraulic retention time, that means theta equal to Q by V by Q naught. So, volume of the reactor by flow, that is the hydraulic retention time. So, the usual practice is to keep the retention period 5 to 8 hours while treating sewage. The volume of the aeration tank is also divided by considering the return sludge, which is about 25 to 50% of the wastewater volume. So 5 to 8 hours retention period, generally theta we are taking. So that means 5 to 8 hours are taken to fill the tank. That signifies this. Mean cell residence time, MCRT, or the solid residence time, solid retention time, SRT are the same. So this is basically in a system is the length of the time the microorganisms stay in the process. That is the length of time the microorganisms stay in the process. That means how much period the microorganism will be retained in the process, that is the mean cell residence time. This is also called the solid retention time for the sludges. So theta c is nothing but Vx, that is the total biomass, V into x. It must be noted that while calculating the total biomass, the concentration of the biomass will be multiplied with the volume of the reactor, because the concentration of the biomass will be present in the reactor volume. So it will not coming from the water. So the V into X, so total biomass in the aeration basin will be volume of the aeration basin into the biomass concentration in the reactor. So it has to be multiplied with the volume of the reactor, the numerical part, the numerator part has to be kept in your mind. Now the denominator part, that is biomass hosted. Biomass hosted means one is the recirculated and another is the effluent. So how much is recirculated? The QW into XR portion is recirculated, because QW4 and that corresponding recirculation strength is XR, and how much is the effluent, that means goes out, that is Q0 minus QW into XC. Q0 minus QW into XC, that portion is goes out. So what is the denominator portion indicate the biomass hosted per unit time. So ultimately, when we divide the biomass hosted per unit time, when we divide the total biomass by the biomass hosted per unit time, we'll get the time up to which the biomass will retain in the reactor, and that is the mean cell residence time, that is the solid retention time. So theta c ultimately will give the since x equal to 0, we know, because x0, x0, and xc are assumed as 0. So Vx by QW XR, that is the final expression of the theta c. It is widely being used in the reactor design. This is a very, very important expression that I must highlight to you. Now the SRT is higher than HRT. SRT is higher than the HRT as a fraction of the sludge is recycled back. Because why it is higher? Because HRT means it is confined into the reactor, and SRT means it is confined into the sludge. So again, some portion of the sludge is recycled back to the aeration basin. So the SRT is always be higher than the HRT. Hydraulic retention time is less than the SRT, rather I would say, because of the some fraction of the sludge is always recycled back to the aeration basin. Now the F by M ratio, which is very, very important parameter in the biological reactor. What is F? F is nothing but the food, that is the substrate, that is the beauty, that is the organic matter in the wastewater, whatever you call in the numerator portion, that is the F. And what is M? M means microorganism. So F by M, finding out the F by M parameter, we can at least decide what type of activated sludge system is there, what type of treatment will be there. Suppose if F by M is found as 0.05 to 0.15, then we can conclude that it is extended aeration system. If F by M is between 0.2 to 0.4, then it will be appropriate for the conventional activated sludge system. If F by M 0.2 to 0.6, then it is completely mixed reactor. And for the high rate aerated tank, F by M should be lied between 0.4 to 1.5. Now, what is F by M? As I've told you, F means the BOD5, that is the food, that is the organic matter, carbonaceous organic matter. So, what is food? Food is BOD. What is BOD? BOD of wastewater into the influent flow rate, because BOD present in the water. BOD means organic matter present in the water, wastewater, and that our target is to remove the BOD, that is remove the organic matter. So whenever we will find out the food, so you have to find out you have to multiply the concentration of the organic matter with the inflow of the water. Now the denominator part, let us discuss the denominator part. Denominator part is the M, that is the microorganism, that is reactor volume into reactor mass. So these type things have to be kept in mind while calculating. I am again and again same thing telling to, so that you can recapitulate in your mind. Don't forget these things, because whenever I am going to determine the biomass then biomass concentration has to be multiplied with the reactor volume. And whenever we are going to calculate the BOD, that is the organic matter, that is the food, then the organic matter concentration has to be multiplied with the inflow water. One is multiplied with the inflow water, that is the numerator part, and denominator part, the factor is multiplied with the reactor volume, that is the volume of the reactor. So F by M is nothing but S0 Q0 by Vx. Fine. Now F by M is S0 by theta x, because F by Q0 means is theta, so you substituting V and Q0, converting in theta terms of theta, F by M is S0 by theta x. That is also a very important expression which we will use in next numerical sums. Now let us discuss the excess sludge wasting. Now excess sludge remaining in the secondary clarifier, even after being recycled to the aeration basin, has to be wasted out. Why wasted out? Because we have to maintain the steady level of the MLSS. Otherwise, the MLSS will go on increasing, go on increasing, go on increasing. So it has to be wasted out to maintain the steady level of the MLSS. And the excess sludge quantity increases with excess F by M. If organic matter more, that means food is more, that means pollutant in the water is more, that means F by M ratio is more, then definitely there will be excess sludge. Fine. And decreases with increase in temperature. Why decreases? Because food will be decreased and will be degraded biologically due to increase of temperature. So that's why F by M will be decreased. So with increase of temperature, F by M decreases. The excess sludge wasting can be accomplished either from the sludge wasting line or directly from the aeration basin. Although that is not the subject of our discussion, but you must know as per academic interest that sludge wasting from aeration basin is also beneficial for subsequent sludge thickening operation, as higher solid concentration can be achieved when dilute mixed liquor is thickened rather than the concentrated sludge. That much you have to keep in your knowledge. That's enough. Next, I will describe the sludge recycling. What is the sludge recycling? The MLSS concentration in the aeration tank is controlled by the sludge recirculation rate and the sludge stability and the thickening in the secondary clarifier. The recirculation ratio QR by Q is X by XR minus X, where QR is recycle rate and Q is the flow rate of wastewater, and X is the ml VSS in the aeration tank, and XR is VSS, that is suspended solid in the concentration in return sludge. So the sludge saturity is determined by sludge volume index. As we know, the volume by volume content by 1 gram of solid suspended solid sludge. That is the 1 gram of solid suspended solids. 1 gram of suspended solid, that corresponding volume will give the sludge volume index. Generally, the sludge volume index is between 50 to 150 milliliter per gram. That is volume per gram of solid. Indicate good settling of the suspended solids, and the XR value may not be taken as more than 10,000 gram per meter cube unless separate thickeners are provided to concentrate the settled solids or secondary clarifier is designed to have a higher value. So this is the this up to this. Now I will close this day. I will call it a day. Next time I will, from oxygen requirement onwards, I will continue my lecture in the next, that is the 24th lecture. I will continue from the part of the oxygen requirement. So up to this, I will close it a day. So students, I will, whatever the deliberation has been taken place from my part, that will be uploaded in the Google Classroom. Kindly go through the lectures in the Google Classroom, that completely mixed reactor kinetic models, different expressions, derivations we have described. If you have any problems, queries, that may be discussed in one-to-one live classes. We'll be meeting in the live classes. So thank you all. Have a nice day to all.